Hello and welcome to today's English class. In today's class, we shall study a new chapter in English. The name of the chapter is Chapter 3.2 The Kite Festival. As we all know, India is a land of festivals and fairs. Virtually celebrating each day of the year, there are more festivals celebrated in India than anywhere else in the world. Each festival pertains to different occasions. Some welcome the seasons of the year, the harvest, the rains, or the full moon. Others celebrate religious occasions, the birthdays of divine beings and saints, or the advent of the new year. A number of these festivals are common to most parts of India. However, they may be called by different names in various parts of the country or may be celebrated in a different fashion. So let us study about the Kite Festival in our today's chapter. Introduction. Kite flying occupies an important position in Indian tradition and culture. The lesson gives us some information about kite flying and the Kite Festival. The Kite Festival. Years ago, the harassed mother would often say to her restless son, who needed to be kept busy during his holidays, "Why don't you go fly a kite?" And the little boy would happily pick up his kite and run out into the field. Harassed means troubled or stressed out. That, of course, was in the past when the only kites available were made of kite paper and thin wooden frames. Kite flying has come a long way since then, when the invention of motorized and even fiberglass kites to compete with the old-fashioned kites. Today, kite flyers can be found in different parts of the world, carrying different types of kites, waiting for the right winds. Come a long way means progressed or developed. Kite flying has a long history. There are many Greek, Indian, and other mythological stories which tell us about human beings wanting to or trying to fly. Over a period of time, this desire of humans and their imagination probably led to the invention of kites, and it is likely that the box kites designed more than 100 years ago later inspired others to create power-driven aeroplanes. So, in this particular part of the chapter, we understand how the kite flying has changed and has progressed and developed through years. Earlier, it was the traditional one which was used, that is, the wooden frames which were used. But later on, we could see because of the developed and the progressed world, it also brought about change in all these things. You could see motorized and fiberglass kites instead of the old fashioned ones. And all these things also proved to be an inspiration and led to the invention of power driven aeroplanes. So you can see how the world has progressed and how it has changed from the old fashioned way to the modernized way, to the modern outlook. Let's go ahead. In India, however, the tradition of kite flying has not changed. Be it during the coming of spring, which is celebrated as Basant, or during the festival of Makar Sankranti, people of all ages go out into the open to try their luck with their kites. In towns and cities where open spaces are difficult to find, terraces and rooftops are often used for this traditional sport. So you can see that in our country, India, till now the traditional way of kite flying has not changed. During the coming of spring, which is celebrated as Basant, it's called as Basant Panchami. So that festival is basically celebrated to welcome the spring season. Also during festival of Makar Sankranti, and people of all ages, that means from smaller ones to the elders, everyone enjoy this kite flying festival. And in cities and towns, since there are no open spaces, everywhere you could see buildings crowded and cluttered. So what people do? They gather on their rooftops and terraces, and from there they fly kites and compete with each other. In Gujarat, Makar Sankranti is kite flying day. Gujarat is a state in our country. Traditionally celebrated on January 13 or 14, it is a holiday when people meet outdoors to cut each other's kite. So people have this kite flying day wherein they compete with each other and try to cut each other's kite. The one whose kite stays is the winner. This day also coincides with the festival of Uttarayan, when the sun is set to begin its journey to the northern hemisphere. The people of Gujarat celebrate Uttarayan with a lot of enthusiasm, and all business comes to a grinding halt for a couple of days. It is also a celebration to mark the end of winter. So you can see in this whole part you have got to know about the festivals like Basant Panchami, which is welcoming the spring season, Makar Sankranti. Then you have the festival of Uttarayan. It's basically the same thing where the kite flying is the tradition. Coincides means occurs at the same time. The kite flying begins at dawn and continues without a pause throughout the day. People of all ages gather on terraces or rooftops. Friends, neighbors, even total strangers compete with one another, and cries of triumph rend the air when someone cuts the line of a rival. A wonderful variety of kites is seen, and the fussy buyer can choose what he wants. The more serious players prepare special lines for their kites. There is music in the air, and traditional delicacies are specially prepared for the day. Rend means tear. Fussy means very choosy. Delicacies means fine food items. So you see, during this festival, everyone come together, gather on their rooftop or terraces, and they compete with each other, even though they don't know each other. There are also strangers who compete with each other. So this particular festival, you can see people coming together, enjoying and having a great time by playing that particular traditional sport which is called the kite flying. And during this time you could also see a variety of kites, different colors, different style, different work on it, different kinds of kites are seen, and people have a lot of variety from which he or she can choose whichever he wants. And also, a festival isn't complete without the delicacies, the special food items that are prepared for that particular day. So delicacies are prepared, food. Especially you must have heard about Tilgur. So in Makar Sankranti, during Makar Sankranti festival, it is a very special food delicacy which is prepared and which is given to each other. Held on the same day, the bigger event, however, is the International Kite Festival at Ahmedabad, organized by the Gujarat State Tourism Corporation. It is held either at the Sardar Patel Stadium or the Police Stadium. So, it is so big that even international festivals, kite festivals are held in our country, that is in Ahmedabad specially, which is organized by the Gujarat State Tourism Corporation. This popular festival attracts international kite flyers. That means people from other countries, kite flyers from other countries also participate in this international kite festival, who demonstrate their skills in flying exotic kites. Exotic means belonging to faraway lands. and local champions as well. Little Indian paper kites compete with those from Japan, USA, UK, and other countries. So, the kite flyers from all these foreign countries come to India to participate in the International Kite Festival. Excited spectators watch in awe as marvelous shapes such as eagles and snakes soar into the skies. Awe means wonder or amazement. So, the people who are there to witness this festival, the spectators who are watching, they are in such amazement and wonder to see the sky painted with this colorful kites, and it looks so beautiful to one's eyes that it amazes them, and everyone is happy to see the beautiful sky colored and painted with the colorful kites that are flying in the sky. And also, they are not of only one kind of shape. There are different shapes, eagles, snakes, and various kinds of different shapes kites you can see in the sky flying up high. One of the highlights of this festival is the Patang or Kite Bazaar in the heart of Ahmedabad, which is open 24 hours a day for a whole week. So during this festival season, there is this Patang or the Kite Bazaar. Patang means kite, which is in the heart of the Ahmedabad. Means at the center. And it is open throughout the day, that is 24 hours. Night time also it is open for 1 week. And you can see lots of visitors over there. A visit to this bazaar in the middle of the night is enough to prove that the entire city is obsessed with kites. Obsessed means totally occupied with one aspect. That means they love it so much. They wanted the different varieties of kites that they have, that they see in the market. So people go there to buy kites. People crowd the streets and buy their stocks, haggling throughout the night. Haggling means bargaining. So it's not like you go to a shop, whatever the shopkeeper tells you, you pay and come. You need to bargain because the shopkeeper might be telling a very high price. So you have to cut down, bargain with him, and you can then purchase that particular kite which you think has an appropriate amount and a price, and you pay for it and purchase it. Skilled craftsmen demonstrate age-old kite making skills. Skilled craftsmen means the people who are skilled in making that kite. They show how it is made and how to prepare the special thread used for kite flying. You cannot just fly the kite. To fly a kite up in the sky, you need a thread, a string which is attached to it, through which you are able to fly the kite. So, mixture of glue and ground glass cover the lines, which are dried and rolled onto reels known as firkis. So that thread which is put together, that particular part is called as firkis, where you have your string or the thread attached and which is then attached to the kite. These lines are so sharp that carelessly used they can cut a finger. So these lines means the thread, the string is so sharp that if you don't use it properly and carefully, it can even cut your finger. The excitement does not end with nightfall. Now it is time for illuminated box kites, often strung on one line, to be launched into the sky. Illuminated means lighted up, called tukkals. They add a grand beauty to the dark sky and compete with the brilliance of the stars. So the tukkals are illuminated, lit with fire or candle, and then they are left in the sky. On the right hand side, the last picture you can see, those are tukkals. You also call it as the lit lantern. So nowadays those are in trend. So students, in today's chapter, the Kite Festival, we have seen how the tradition has changed, how the world has progressed, and how the things which were used earlier, the simple things, were now, because of development and progressed world, it has changed to new ways and new technologies are being used. In our country, we use the same old traditional way and method, which is slowly changing. We also saw the different festivals that are attached to kite flying, and also how people come in together, have this traditional sport of kite flying, compete with each other to cut the kite, to cut the line, and happily they enjoy preparing delicacies, singing songs, and having a great time together. Also, we saw how the international festivals related to kite flying are organized by the state tourism, wherein people from foreign countries also come here and take part and compete with each other. We also saw about and learned about the kite bazaar, the patang bazaar, where you can see different varieties of kites and how the firkis are made. And at the end, we also learned about the tukkals, the modern kites, the lanterns which we call, which are lit and which are left in the sky during the night time, which look beautiful. With all this, we also get to learn one thing, and which we should never forget, and that is, while enjoying all this festival, we should always see to it that we don't harm our mother nature in any way, or the living beings or the living creatures in any manner. Together, in a good and a better way, thinking about others, we should celebrate the festivals and spread happiness and joy in this world with each other in our own society, and also make others aware of the good things of the festival and the things which are harmful for our own Mother Earth. I hope you have followed and understood this chapter. Thank you.